here we are. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Quest for Harb's Daughter versus Mike Oxlong against the world. I ain't saying that every time. Hell no. I'm going to just abbreviate these two teams to Quest and Mike Oxlong. Maybe Mike, if I'm really feeling pressured for time. But, yeah, I ain't saying the whole thing. I just don't have that energy. Do not have it. So, I'm sure this will be a pretty interesting matchup between these two teams. Currently, I think Mike Oxlong... Actually, I don't think they've quite updated their record yet. It still says they're 2 for 2, even though this is the 4th week. I think they've just actually not updated the RD2L website at the moment, because I don't think anyone's scores have been updated just yet. Well, I mean, Quest's team was 4-0, and Mike Oxlong's was 2 for 2. I'm not quite sure what their scores are now, because I don't know the situation for their previous match, but even still, it's a little bit more of a pressure then for Mike Oxlong's team to start performing now, start getting a few points on the board, just to make sure they're not in that danger zone of not being able to qualify for the next stage of the tournament. Quest, they've got a little bit more leeway. Oh my god, I've got it again! Look, this ain't my cursor! I've got that weird bug where I'm spectating someone else, which is really goddamn annoying. But at least it doesn't matter for the drafting phase. Once the actual game starts, I'll disconnect and reconnect through Zake, because I added him through Steam. So we're not going to have that same issue this time. But even still, Mike Oxlong, they're kicking this game off by taking the Enigma pick as their first grab. Now, Enigma, obviously, it always used to be either a position 3 or sometimes a 4, depending on what sort of lineup the teams were trying to build up. But loads of people have really been picking up this Enigma as a position 5 lately, so this could be what Mike Oxlong is going to try and aim for with this early Enigma pickup. I mean, especially seeing as how you're sort of setting him up to guarantee there's going to be a few counters for this black hole throughout the game. I mean, Quest have already actually banned out the Rubik themselves, so unfortunately they've taken away one of the better heroes to go up against the Enigma. Just always have that potential of the black hole steal. So we'll see what their first pickup's going to be instead, and it is going to be the Shaker. So definitely a decent answer for the Enigma in the early parts of the game. We're always going to have that long-range Fisher to cancel out the black holes if needs be, as well as just obviously setting up for some nice pincer maneuvers and ganks up onto whichever lane you want to rotate onto. So yeah, they've already got some answer to this Enigma. Obviously, once the Enigma does actually get that BKB online, the Earthshaker's not going to be able to do jack against him. So they're probably still going to be looking to get some sort of BKB stun, BKB piercing stun, just so they do have some late game answers for this Enigma. But I mean, as I was saying, if it is going to be a POS 5, then they don't really have to worry about that for a really long time, because obviously he is a POS 5. Doesn't have the best farming speed in the world, as he's one of the lower priorities of that position. But even still, it's always nice to have one just in case. I mean, this Enigma could have an absolutely incredible lane and just be ridiculously farmed, even as a 5. So always going to make sure you have that BKB piercing stun. Maybe a Beastmaster. Obviously, if you're going to pick the Beast, you've got to make sure you ban out all the counters to that, like the CM, the Enchantress. It was the Shen once, but no one really bothers with Shen anymore. He's dropped off heavily in favour of a lot of teams. But there is the Dark Willows, the second pickup for Mike Oxlong, so that's probably going to be their position 4. Always a nice support to have. A huge amount of utility to it. Has a good amount of crowd control with the Bramble Maze. Makes it quite awkward to manoeuvre in team fights, as well as having quite a lot of damage from the Bedlam and the Dark World hit. As well as just the utility of having that big AoE terrorize that can really flip a lot of fights around, either making space for people who are getting gone on and need a lot of help, or just try and force all of the enemy to sort of bottleneck into a single spot. And that should really set up some easy black holes from this Enigma. Or maybe just the other way around. You know, they start off with a black hole, they catch on to like 5 of them, and whilst that black hole's going on, you just channel up the terrorize to hit as soon as the black hole ends, and immediately they're all just running for them lives straight away, can't do anything else. So quite a scary little bit of teamfight synergy coming out from Mike Oxlong already. But Quest have responded by going for the OD. OD, obviously a very, very high priority hero in this current meta. Loads of people just absolutely love rolling this guy. Taking him into that mid, getting that Meteor Hammer, and going for the old H trick to always just land those Meteor Hammer stuns straight away as soon as people come out of that Ash Rift. This goddamn mouse is annoying me. Whose is it? Last time I was following the position 5 Undying, but who's no... I don't know. I'm just going to... There you go, it's gone. It's vanished. This is all I've got to do every single time. Just hide it. So, as well as having the OT, obviously, that's another counter to the Black Hole. But, again, it's a pre-BKB counter. So they've already got a couple of answers. Not solid late game answers, but enough just to make the Enigma not really going to be aiming to get many like big black holes off. Just going to be sort of mainly being a bit more tower push utility as well as the Midnight Pulse. That in team fight is going to be a large part of the damage coming out from him. So Mike Oxlong, they also banned out the Morphlin and the Jakiro. Jakiro, one of those position 5 supports, which is pretty simple mechanically wise to get all their skills off in the right order, do tons of damage, tons of control in the fights, and yeah, just always effective really. I think the dual breath is like one of the highest DPS level 1 abilities in the game, so always quite easy to try and trade off damage in whatever lane he's going to be going up against. At the moment, well, obviously there is no Jakiro though, it's banned out, but I mean they get rid of it just to make sure that's not going to come into the hands of Quest. Very flexible, pos 5. Well, Quest themselves, looks like they're just focusing all of their bans towards the pos 1 now. They've taken away the Anti-Mage, they've taken away the Wraith King. We'll see what other sort of heroes they're going to be looking to ban out. They're just taking away sort of high farm orientated heroes at the moment. The Anti-Mage and the Wraith King aren't heroes that like to come online very soon. Require a lot of time just to build up their net worth before they become an actual a real scary factor in the team fights. Even the Deucer ban coming up from Mike Oxlong. The Deucer, I mean, which wasn't changed too much in the 7.28 patch. It had a couple of tweaks, but nothing that was like particularly game breaking. And you don't really see it very often, but when you do, it's generally in a team composition which just works really damn well with it. And it is scary to go up against sometimes if it has the right backing. I can't remember which teams it was. There was a pro game in one of the later tournaments. I think it was the end of December, start of January, and they ran a Medusa along with a heavy support like healing and damage reduction based lineup like Omni Knight, Shen. I think it was a Dazzle as well, and the Medusa literally went first line Divine Rapier, and it worked. They just sieged high ground, so it can be quite a scary hero. But again, as I was saying, it does rely on having a decent actual lineup to go with it. Maybe still they take it out. There's also the Void Spirit ban coming out from Quest, so just dipping into making sure that just limiting the heroes for the mid lane of Mike Oxlong, which I believe is Raptus who plays the mid. Normally I can't remember a lot of the players' names because, again, I'm still relatively new, and nicknames along with what names they're actually registered for the league, it's all bloody confusing. I get very confused. I tried my best. I'll get there one day, boys. I'll get there one day. But there is the Witch Doctor grab up for Quest. Now that's going to be their pos 5. Another pretty simple pos 5. Offers a decent amount of utility. Got that cask stun where if it is in the right situation, it can be super goddamn annoying to deal with. Just bouncing between two people is the real deadly part. Just stun box them forever with the Maledict on top and the Death Ward. It can be an absolutely disgusting amount of damage. And again, it's another somewhat disabled to the Black Hole of the Enigma. But again, it's not a BKB disable. So it's looking like if I was this Enigma, I'd be like, right, first item BKB, don't give a crap about anything else. Just go for it. Go for it. Maybe a Blink Dagger if you really want to. Depends how your lane goes, to be honest with you. Or just what the actual rest of Quest's lineup is going to be. I mean, there is still the potential for this Enigma to be pushed onto the core role. It's not solidified as a pos 5 by any means. Oh, this bloody cursor! Who's doing this to me? This is everywhere. Look at it. Now it's sat there tormenting me. So let's see what the third hero of Mike Oxlong's going to be. Both these two teams have used a dump of their reserve time already. Mike Oxlong's down to 13 reserve already. And it's only the third hero pick. Meanwhile, Quest have only got 32 seconds themselves. But there is going to be the Jug pickup from Mike Oxlong. Now, we've seen a few Jugs picked up through the RD2L so far. And you get a few very varied builds. A lot of people like to play this Jug a little bit differently to what others do. So we'll see what the sort of build line is going to be for this game. But I always like just the more traditional sort of Jug. Maybe Battle Fury or Maelstrom into like the Ags. Rather than Radiance into E-Blade. I'm not going to say whose game that was, but it was interesting. We'll see what it's going to be though. So now the fourth pick for Quests. Imagine they're probably going to go for their position 1 now. Just so the pool doesn't get limited any further from the remaining two bands of Mike Oxlong. And it is actually going to be the Naga Siren. So looking like this probably will be the position 1. There is the potential for it to be moved on to the 3 role if that is in the wheelhouse for Quest. But you know, I imagine this is probably just going to be a Naga Siren as the POS 1. Does pretty well against the Juggernaut. Just all those illusions makes it really difficult for the Jug to get a decent Omni Slash off. But there is also the Lesh pickup from Mike Oxlong. So a nice bit of extra tower push. Going to be trying to apply a bit of pressure onto the early tier 1s. Also a good amount of AoE damage as well to really help clear up all the illusions of the Naga Siren. But he is a glass cannon sort of hero, so if he gets caught out by a Astral Imprisonment with the Meteor Hammer on top, follow up from like the Earthshaker or the Witch Doctor or anyone, I imagine this Lesh will probably die. It's a very, very squishy hero, and the two supports don't really have any sort of save mechanic to go for any rotations to bring the Lesh out of that ganking. So it's going to be a pretty cautious mid laning phase for the Lesh. Always going to be careful of that roaming Earthshaker. So it's looking like they've only got their offlane left to pick for Mike Oxlong. As a result, Quest have banned out the Tide Hunter. But mid lane are left for Quest, and as a result, Mike Oxlong, they banned out the Invoker as well as the Razor actually. Interesting ban out. You don't normally see a Razor very often. I remember actually Moyo was telling me when I was doing a cast with him on Wednesday, there was a player which really loves to roll with Razor. I can't remember who that was. Was it Savakt? Was it him? I can't remember. You boys gonna have to send me a message and let me know. But even still, it's just the option taken away. But then it was the Unlord ban out for Quest, so just heavily focusing towards any sort of beefy offlaner to provide a lot of a tank for the team. As that is really what Mike Oxlong's missing out. None of these heroes are particularly tanky. I mean, as I was saying, Lesh is very squishy early on. The Jug's pretty squishy early on. Just got the safety of the spin, really. It's the only save he has. Dark Willow and the Enigma, obviously both very squishy. And okay, it's actually going to be the Death Prophet. So there's quite a lot of push potential coming out from Mike Oxlong right now. You got all the Eidolons, you got the Diabolic Edict, you got the Exorcism as well. So imagine just every single time that Exorcism is going to be off cooldown, Mike Oxlong just going to be running down a lane. And that's going to be quite scary for Quest. So they're going to have their map shrinking every single minute. These towers start dropping like flies. Especially seems like the Naga needs quite a bit of farm as well before he can really start helping the rest of the team defend the towers. And it's actually going to be the Ember Spirit grab as their final hero. So is this a offlane Ember? 6 on the OD, Acid on the Naga. I think Acid is the POS 1 player, so it is going to be a POS 1 Naga Siren. And I can't remember if Savakt's the mid laner or the off laner for this team. I think he's the mid laner, I believe. So that means it'll be the off lane OD paired up with Roran. on the Earthshaker position 4. They are on Mike Oxlong, What's Real, obviously on the Jug, taking that position 1. Raptis on the Lesh, going for the mid. Tribo on the DP for the off lane. And iPone Turkeys, pos 5. And Dreddy the Enigma as the pos 4. Unless I've got those two completely the wrong way around. And it is going to be, yeah, I imagine it is, yeah. iPone Turkeys probably be the pos 4, right? And then Dreddy will be on the 5. I think. Don't quote me on that, boys. Don't quote me. I've got this cursor. Right, if I can't change who I'm spectating, I'm going to have to like quickly bail once I join the game and then rejoin through Zakes. Through Steam. Hopefully I can just change it over to free camera and not stuck on whoever it is. I don't understand whose mouse this is though. Like, I'm just on the spectating slot of the lobby, so it's not like I select there's any sort of hero which I click, player that I click on or anything. I don't know. But even still, we'll find out if I'm gonna have to rejoin in just a second. And what can I do? What can I do? Absolutely nothing. I can't. Right. Okay. Alright, leave. Yeah, left. And watch friend live. Okay, well. Watch. So I think I'm gonna have a slight delay then on the game. Yeah, okay, so I'm back in the draft. I'm not watching through Zake's perspective, am I? Bloody hell, I hope not. If so, I'm going to have to quickly restart once this game actually gets going. Go live. Go live. There's so many goddamn spectating bugs in Dota. Let's get the tunes going again. I wouldn't call them tunes, just subtle, soothing beats. That's what we need to cast Dotes to. So 15 seconds, and then I'll start. I mean, I've got the cursor again. It's probably someone else's cursor. It must be Zake's cursor, in that respect, if I'm watching it through him. But I should be able to change the perspective off once I actually get into the game. Bloody well hope so, anyway. And yeah, free camera. Whoop, 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 whoop. That's how we do it, boys. We got the free camera. I want everyone's view though. There we go. Right.
It's looking spicy.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to game number 1 between Quest for Harb's Daughter versus Mike Oxlong against the world. Once again, just gonna say it. I'm not saying the whole thing. It's gonna be Quest and Mike Oxlong at the max. That's all you guys are getting. So we'll see who's able to take this game 1 and set a nice pace and potentially take this best of 2 series both games. Or it could be an even 1-1 split. It's always exciting. There's quite a few heroes moving up from Quest already towards their own jungle. And Mike Oxlong's actually got a few heroes themselves down in this bottom part of the map, so we could potentially see a little tiff here. And Quest is making a move across the river. They're going to head up to this high ground, but everyone's waiting up here. There's going to be an easy stun there from Raptors. Connects onto 3 with the Bramble Mace on top, locking them all in place. Saints trying to go forwards, but there's the cask, and nobody wants to commit. So Quest do just back out, taking a fair amount of damage, but they've still got all their spells to use. And they're not going to give up. They've moved down to the low ground, as well as Savak's moving up on the left side. They're trying to go for a pincer maneuver, but everyone on the side of Mike Oxlong just bail out. They don't want to get too involved. Oh, Zake's actually got the initial stun there onto Raptors with the grab. Cask as well on top. Not really much follow-up damage, as Raptors getting poked quite a bit. Tribo trying to poke onto the thread, but Tribo, he tried to go for the click, doesn't manage to get it. But he does actually manage to, he should be able to escape from this. Remember, What's Real just takes both the bounties at top for free. So it ends up being a 2 for 2. And both teams just really trading regen, to be honest. There's a few tangos been forced to use already. Nobody got particularly low, so no salves had to be used at least. So a very, very even start. Very even indeed. I was sure that maybe someone would have gone down, especially with that 3-man split up hit there from Raptors. I guess they just didn't quite have the correct heroes in the area to go for any sort of follow-up. So Acid, he should have a alright time down here. I don't think he's going to be able to get pressured out too badly by Turkeys and Trebo. I mean, the Soul Siphon run at him is going to be a little bit more awkward, especially seeing how the Soul Siphon, I don't think, jaunts when Mirror Image is used. So you're always going to be able to tell which one's the real Naga, just on the fact that spell's going to be permanently latched on. Oh, Turkey's taking quite a bit of damage. I think if there was going to be a second cast bounce there, I think they probably could have got the kill. But no such luck there for the Witch Doctor. But in this mid, how's this matchup going? Currently 8-2 for Raptis to the 7-0 for Savact, so pretty damn even between these two. Especially seems how Savact has a couple more creeps left to kill over the top of Raptis, so pretty damn even so far in the mid. And 2 denies doesn't really make that much of a big effect. Raptis, he's already going for the Diabolic Edicts onto the tower hits. You normally see that people do that once like the upper mid lane has left the area, or they've got like at least 3 points or so into Diabolic Edict. But Raptis, he wants to do as much damage as he can, as early as he can. But I think if you put a lot of early points into Diabolic Edict, it does sort of lessen your laning, well, your zoning abilities, I guess. As the Lightning Storm's a very good ability to try and harass out the Ember Spirit. Especially seems like the fact that Savact isn't actually going for a Flame Guard build, so he wouldn't have any magic damage absorption. He would just be taking the raw Lightning Bolts and the Split Earths every single time. But I think this shows what the game plan for Mike Oxlong is. Where I was saying about their lineup is a heavy push-orientated team with the Enigma as well as the Death Prophet. So these early points of Diabolic Edict definitely into the mantra of what their team is trying to achieve. How's this top lane doing? What's really not doing too badly. Only a few CS behind his counterpart of Acid. I think just doing a little bit of a better job of being able to harass out What Is Real. Or just getting very, very low. Already forced to use out his healing ward, as he doesn't have any resources left to heal up. Oh, I missed that one. Down bottom, Trebo actually gets first blood onto Fred. Might cost him his life. No, there wasn't actually no lucky Riptide there from Acid, which probably would have got the kill. So Trebo does manage to escape, as well as grabbing that first blood onto Fred. So nice little chunk of extra gold for him. I think Roran's is trying to disrupt Dreddy as much as he possibly can. I mean, as a result, both these two are still level 1. I mean, they're both like a toenail of a creep away from actually leveling up. But What's Real's actually coming in here. Maybe they want to try and go for this kill into Roran, but the spin available. But he doesn't bother going for it. I think he probably worked it out that a level 2 spin just wouldn't have been enough damage to kill Roran at that point. Especially since there was no sort of Malefice stun from Dreddy to help try and get the kill. But already the 2 main cores of Quest is actually at top of that CS chart at the moment. Massive triple stack as well, made up by Fred. Which I'm sure Acid would love to take eventually. With the stun and the Maledict's on top, doesn't get a lucky extra cast bounce, so Trebo is able just to walk it off. They managed to get over here as well before too many of the creeps got killed out by the neutrals. No, only one did. So don't really lose too much next to then. Fred going for another stun connection there onto Trebo with another bounce. No nets level up though by Acid, so they couldn't try and capitalise on that lucky bounce. So no one else drops down there. Oh, Savak, he wants to try and beat Raptors to the bounty route, but this is a little cheeky haste rune. He just could not beat him there. So he ends up managing to snatch one of the bounties away, but good old Fred down bottom, able to take both those two instead, so ends up being a 2 for 2 on the trade. But even still, just the fact that Raptors was able to snatch away that bottle refill from Savak, force him to go all the way back to base. Misses out a few creeps, so there's only half a level difference between these two, but even still, half a level, it can make all the difference. Well, Israel's still quite far behind in terms of CS, actually, when you compare him to Acid. He's 19-1, and Acid's currently 33-1. So I think that's just the fact that Zate's been able to do a pretty good job at pressuring him out a little bit. Obviously, the fact that Dreddy's been off the lane a really long time means that What Israel does have a big XP advantage. He's basically nearly an entire full level over the top of Acid. Well, actually, down bottom, Fred gets dropped. Trebo, oof, just enough damage on that final hit. Brings him down. Open Turkey's getting pretty low as well, but again, still no net and snare level up from Acid, so Open Turkey's able just to walk it off. Oh, maybe he wants to try and go for the return kill there, but Acid just jukes it around himself into the trees. Not going to get caught out this time. Oh, Brown Base connects. Getting quite low, but lucky Riptide. And there's a Fairy Fires, but Acid pops one as well, and that's just a free kill. Even the smoke popped by Open Turkeys, I think. Maybe thought it would jaunt the auto attack for just a millisecond. Unfortunately, no such luck. Treebo's actually just comes over just to make sure that Fred doesn't get another pull off, keeping that lane where he wants it to be. Oops, Savak getting pretty low in the mid. Just AoE damage from Raptors. This is so damn huge. He was able to get back towards the tower though. He just goes for a cheeky TP back to regen up for free. He has a bottle double damage as well, so Raptors might need to be a little bit careful. Savak's actually going to try and go for it. He actually used the fire round going through the middle. Raptors though, all of his spells activated, so so much damage going to Savak. It's actually enough to bring him down. Even with the double damage in Savak, there's so much magical damage coming out from Raptors. He just could not survive through it. I suppose this is the crux of having level 0 and Flame Guard. Just all of that magic damage just shreds through you. And down bottom I missed it, but Fred dropped once again, and now Acid's getting pressured up. He's trying to run out of there. Hit from the Dark Realm. Does a fair amount of damage, but Acid's able to retreat out. The Ghosts just can't quite chase far enough. And again, I missed another one up top. Roran dropped this time. What is real on the board now with a kill. And he's actually recovered really nicely in terms of CS as well. Hardly behind Acid whatsoever. And when you actually look at net worth, it's 300 gold difference between the two of them, so not a huge amount. I mean, there can be, it's needed like a few components, like a Wraith Band or something. So it's just a little few stats difference between the two of them. That's what that gold difference really means. Oh, Raptors actually gets caught out in the mid. Savak able to get the solo kill onto him this time. And maybe Raptors was just a little bit too low, hanging around in the area trying to pressure out this tower, and Savak able to capitalise on it. And finally bring him down. Ooh, meanwhile up top, they got the sun connection there from Dreddy. Brings him down, as well as the hammer getting dropped. Boy's Drill gets super low, but he's able to spin out at least and retreat back. As there's already that Meteor Hammer online for Zay. Like 8.5 minutes in. And for an Enigma, there is absolutely no answer to that situation. You just sort of die, especially with the follow-up stuns coming out from the Earthshaker as well. Really quite a scary lane to go up against. Obviously, What Is Real should be pretty safe. Every single time he gets Astral Imprisonment, he's going to be spamming that Q to just dodge out the hammer stun that immediately follows. So he should be pretty safe. It looks like Acid's actually just results going back towards the jungle now. As Trebo is able to force him out. Raptors see them make the rotation round just to finish up the tower. But in comes Zay with this hammer drop. Going to try and stun that Raptors to do as much damage as they can. Fred, they put down the Maledict with these cast stunts. Perfect bounces. The dot damage is enough to bring him down. Fred does die for it. That's a worthy sacrifice, taking down Raptors. He's definitely happy with that. And now Trebo needs to be a little bit careful. Goes for the TP out in the trees. Acid just couldn't quite find him in time to go for the ensnare. So Trebo does escape with his life. It just heads toward the mid as well. And And the Exorcism's actually up in only a few seconds, and most of the side of quest actually TP to this bot lane, so Treebo's going to get tons of free damage onto this tower with this Exorcism. There is a glyph to delay it out. A Fred with the respawn actually TP straight up here, drops a Maledict, gets a few hits off for the Death Ward. It's not a huge amount though, so you might not die for this. Meanwhile, Roran actually did die to Dreddy and what is real up at that top lane. Oh, Treebo. Oh, I think he just hung around a little bit too soon. Zeke came in there with the grab and the Astral Imprisonment with the Meteor Hammer. That's just a free kill. So unfortunately, that Exorcism usage doesn't find anything at all. And they're going to have to wait for another 2 minutes before they can go for any sort of move like that again. I understand what he's doing. Obviously trying to capitalise on the fact there was no one in that mid. Just to get as much free damage as he possibly could. But just that speedy OD. She's not even that speedy. He's just got basic browns. But even still, 365 for only having brown boots. That's a pretty fast base movement speed. Now there's actually a level difference between Savax and Raptors now. Only very, very small one actually, like a quarter of a level between the two of them. But just where it's positioned just means Savax does have one extra level for now. Well, not anymore. Already level 10 up there for Raptors. And 3 heroes in the mid, needs to be a little bit careful. The Bramble Maze doesn't actually manage to connect as he got tanked up by that range creep. I imagine Raptors is still just going to try and be pressuring out this mid-tier 1 whenever he can. But Savax is not yielding the area. He's just constantly keeping his presence here, making it really difficult for Raptors to try and make damage. Meanwhile, the rest of the members of Quest with the smoke up can try to wrap the side. Zeke leading the charge there with the Astral Imprisonment. Hammer dropping on top of Treebo. Sun's in place. Maledict as well. As well as the Death Ward. Sun's damage bring him down, but immediately gets countered by Raptors. Split off, connects onto both of them. And there's enough damage that they both melt down in seconds. But now Zeke just drops the hammer as well as the Astral Imprisonment. Just try and make a bit of space. Raptors barely able to survive, but no, there's the final hit that comes out there. Finishes him off. Ends up being a 2 for 2. And there's both 2 calls for 2 supports. Definitely a favourable trade for Quest. And they're not even done yet. They found the grab onto Turkeys as well. No escape for the poor little Dark Willow. And 3 kills there for Quest. Ended up, it looked like a pretty decent turnaround there for Mike Oxlong for a moment. But the quick plays there from Raptors and Zeke managing to find the extra kills. And as well as Acid just getting a free solo kill as well onto Dreddy up top. And going to carry on pressuring up this tier 1 tower. So far, the fact that I feel like Mike Oxlong had a really decent tower pushing sort of lineup. They still only got 1 tier 1 so far at 30 minutes. They're just going to try and pressure out this mid now. Savax here with the silence up. With the Scepter. They're going to try and set up for the stun collection. He does actually grab onto Savax, getting pretty low. Tons of magic damage. Able to get the slight fist off, but there's no sort of remnant to try and chain out there. He does drop. Fred, easy cast bounces with the Maledict, but there's 0 follow-up from the rest of his team, so he just ends up dropping down. The Fisher from Roran, blocking off the escape of the Lesh. And with the follow-up stun there from Zeke, they're trying to do a lot of damage. The Black Hole just commits from Treebo. He just wants to grab that kill onto Roran. Make sure you just walk in there and go for an easy Echo Slam. So good little read there from Dreddy. They could have flipped the situation completely on its head. I mean, sometimes it feels like a waste to use a Black Hole on a support, but in that sort of situation, it's definitely worthwhile. Because if he managed to get that Echo off, there was like 3 heroes around with a few creeps. It would have been a lot of damn damage. And Zeke could have maybe just gone for the cleanup with a few right clicks. And wants to try to set him for a kill onto what is real, but obviously that's never going to work out onto a jump. Just spamming that Q as soon as he gets hit by the Astral Imprisonment to just avoid the stun from the Meteor Hammer. Always a difficult kill to try and get. And what's reality, he did go for the Maelstrom. So Maelstrom's one of those items which helps you accelerate your farming speed, the chain lightning damage, as well as giving you a little bit of potential to actually get involved in the team fights as well. So it's a nice little middle ground item. Obviously, it doesn't quite increase your farming speed as much as a Battle Fury does, but it definitely gives you a little bit of extra involvement in the fights, if need to be. Well, maybe Quest will try to pressure out this mid, but there's just constant heroes in this mid lane right now. Neither team really wants to concede the area. But obviously at Mike Oxlong, they did that, finally successfully take down that tier 1. Even just the glyph used just to avoid damage of the hammer. I think Quest fine with that, really. Means they should really be able to take that tier 1 if the next sort of clash goes in their favour. Up top, what is real? Needs to be careful. There's a few heroes from Quest in the area. They're actually just going to wait out the spin. Really nice discipline there, not to get involved and just force the TPF on what is real. He still managed to get out the Song the Siren committed. They still managed to get the grab from the Astral Prism, but the hammer dropped as well. Maybe just enough time to get the Omni Slash off. It's going to keep him safe. They're going to group up to make sure they don't take tons of damage, but he's still, the cooldown for the spin is off then. He's able to TP out. What is real? What a play. And that's got to feel bad if you're Quest. All those 3 guys trying to go for the kill, and all these tips onto Zake as well, just trying to tilt him out. And if there was ever a time to tilt your opponent, it is then with those tips. I guess it's just Zake, maybe he didn't quite time the Mute Hammer at the right moment, so there was just that brief second where What Is Real was actually able to get the Omni Slash off. It would have been real brutal as well if he actually managed to like get a few return kills as well. It would have spelled absolute disaster for the side of Quest. Ooh, down bottom. My opponent Turkey's just diving onto her around behind the tier 2 tower, but he felt pretty safe as he had the haste rune. So why not? Well, that's going to be a free D ward. That's in the little detection circle of the outpost. So whoever just walks up onto the high ground is going to get a free chunk of money. Still, they're trying to fresh out this mid, but there's another response coming up from Mike Oxlong. Exorcism also committed, and Dreddy trying to get close up. Has a black hole ready available if they want to try and use it, but the Fear's on top. Zake's is getting so many spells thrown at him, and there's enough damage to bring him down. Just no one else on the side of Quest wanted to get involved to try and help him out. Not they really could, even if they tried to. And with this OD down, and there's still a fair duration to Exorcism, it looks like Mike Oxlong are going to head in towards the Roche pit and see if they can take this objective. They're going to need to be a little bit careful. 4 members of Quest are in the area, so they can try and mount some sort of counterplay. Oh, the Exorcism jumping from Roran! He does tons of damage, but there's no follow-up. He does actually manage to get the kill onto anyone. Savak's able to get the kill onto Dreddy at least, but all 3 members of Mike Oxlong, they're in the pit, are still able to sit there nice and safe. The death ball gets dropped, but it gets cancelled out pretty damn quick. The question mark also got dropped by Trubo, a little bit confused. Now Acid, maybe thinking about trying to get involved. The Illusion's doing tons of damage to Tribo. Not quite enough to finish him off though, and they're able to back out. Rose still 3rd HP. Zake's found respawn, trying now to go for the grab, but it's a little bit ambitious. Go for that Mule Hammer. Immediately gets cancelled by Dual Scepter. Drops the hammer. Tribo's HP doesn't move at all, but in comes Savak trying to get help in hand, but it doesn't matter. The Omni Slash for What Is Real brings down Zake, and now Savak's is left all alone. But no, in comes the rest of his team from the side with the follow-up stunts of the cast. They bring down Tribo, and now it's just What Is Real and Raptis left in the low ground with the help of the 2 supports up on the high ground. And they're just poking the pull onto Raptis. Roran now goes the jump onto Raptis. Is there going to be enough follow-up damage? It's not quite enough yet. Raptis is still just charged at the other 2 members. He gets the kill onto Fred, but there's a slight fist connection there from Savak that finishes him off. Dreddy now cut off from the rest of his team. Savak wants to try and finish him up. There with a slight and chains. They managed to get the kill. Roran, but he's diving in deep as well. Got the kill onto the ward to stop all the healing grabs. So it doesn't matter what's real, still to be able to finish him off. Now Acid comes to the side, just melts iPhone Turkeys, evaporates out Dark Willow, and now it looks like they can try onto What Is Real. It's going to be a difficult kill to get, but there's damage on this Riptide, does so goddamn much. What Is Real is getting pretty damn low. Slight Fist, not enough. He gets the Magic Wand as well. Moving no spin, able to get towards the tier 1 tower, and as well as Tribo's managed to respawn, it's going to lend him helping hand to let him fall back. And What Is Real will manage to survive this situation. But now, Roshan's ready for the taking on the side of Quest. Half HP. And they're going to try and do their best, but everyone else on the side of Mike Oxlong is alive now. And the 2 that have respawned going towards the outpost. I think you're able to get in time though. It's getting pretty damn low. Tribo's activated the Exorcism. He wants to run into the pit, but gets immediately stopped there from the Astral Imprisonment. No one's going to be able to stop it in time. It drops down. The Aegis into the hands of Svet. There's the Terrorize. Forces a couple of them out, but the Song of the Siren from Acid, allowing the retreat for everyone to bail out of the area, as well as a lovely Fisher there from Roran, allowing them all to just escape. And that was the Exorcism, which I don't even get for now. Actually, see? He wanted to re-engage with the Astral Hammer on top. Trubo, able to get the Scepter off, so he dodges it out. Now Boy's Real going to charge in. Everyone outside of Mike also want to try and re-engage. There's the Lightning Storm, gets the grab on the save. And Fred, he drops down the death one, the follow-up from the Echo Slam from around the Fisher. He made a lot of control. They got the kill onto Trubo, but everyone else is still down alive. Roran will drop down. Raptors gets pretty low as well, but Savak couldn't get the finisher there with that slight of chains. And he's able to escape. At least managed to pick off Dreddy at least. But he just does not have the mana to keep the chase for all the remnants. So very back and forth these fights. Just both teams never know when to quit. I think if Quest just left that area, they would have had yeah, well, they would have lost anyone. I'm sure they got the kill onto the Death Prophet as well as Dreddy. But they lost 3 heroes in the turn. So I think Mike's Oxlong perfectly happy with how that went. It did cost them the Exorcism though. Bedlam use is there for Micro and Turkey. He's just running that acid, tricked out the illusions. Takes quite a lot of damage. Now he's going to be forced to retreat as Warriors TP back in it again. Has the Omni Slash available. If maybe they want to try and go for the kill. The jump from Rowan. Oh, the fish is actually off the mark. At least it's cut off the retreat, so he can't just go back to the rest of his team. This cast has been so damn annoying. Raptors trying to go for a stun on there with a Fred, but doesn't quite get the connection. It's just everything's happened in this mid lane, man. It's just non-stop fighting around like this whole area. Who gives a crap about side lanes? It's all about the mid and the Roche, boys. All about mid and Roche. Svat. Leading the charge going in solo. The rest of his team up in the top part of the jungle. Maybe just needs to be a little bit cautious. Just killing the Eidolons one hit with that Desolator, as well as the Corrosion Orb on top. Just ridiculous amount of minus armor coming out from this Ember Spirit. Minus 9 armor in total that he inflicts. That's pretty damn disgusting, especially this early on in the game. Oh, they're ready. Nice reactions there to get the Blink Dagger out. Stopped him from getting countered up. And he's got his Blink Dagger online, so we can go for some nice Black Hole plays, but I still think he's going to need that BKB. He's got a Glimmer Cape queued up right now, but I don't think that's the item he should go for. I really think he should go for this BKB as his next item. Because even if he has the Glimmer and he tries to go for like a Glimmer Black Hole play, there's still so much AoE disables that Quest have. Oh, just poking on Dreddy right now. With the grab there for the Astral Imprisonment, I don't think there's going to be any save now. They drop the Terrorize, actually going to force Sakes back, but it doesn't matter. Svak with a double damage is enough just to quickly burst the Enigma. Takes him down. The thing is as well with the BKB, it gives you a bit of strength, so just a little bit of extra tank as well. I think that would be the correct item. Obviously it's a bit more difficult to save up for a BKB. So I suppose in that respect it does make sense. Unless you can just try and get like an easier item online which still has a bit of impact in these fights. Glyph used defensively just to block out the Meteor Hammer hits, but it doesn't actually manage to clear the whole wave. But it doesn't matter, Quest has already bailed out. They don't want to stick around for any longer than they have to. Swasted, he's got a Vitality booster, as well as 2,800 gold sat in his pocket, and he's immediately going to go for that Heart of Tarask. He's got enough to buy the Reaver right now. Which I imagine he will. Doesn't need to save up for buyback, right? Maybe just didn't bother. What is real actually? Very aggressive TP by the tier 1 tower. I think that weird TP was enough to spook Quest. I think if they realised that he was all alone, they probably would have just pounced on him, potentially got the kill. But hey, the ballsy TP worked, pushing them all back. And the rest is going to try and get involved now. Smack jumping forwards. Freddy was able to get the Blink Dagger back up towards the high ground. Actually trapped himself in the trees. Does have a TP though to get out of this. He's just going to wait for the Blink Dagger. Try and go for some cheeky Black Hole play from the high ground. The rest of the Quest is pushed onto this tier 1 tower. And it looks like they will be able to take it. Relatively uncontested. And I feel this is a little bit worrying because, as I was saying in the draft, Mike Oxlong have got a really nice amount of tower push on their side. And yet they've only managed to take 2 tier 1 towers. But what's real? He's hanging around this area still. Went for the Swift Slash there. And able to spin back towards his tower to safety, so he will manage to escape. Zake couldn't quite get the grab with the Astral Imprisonment. It's just too damn quick. But they're just going to carry on pressing down this bot lane. The Glyph forced out once again. And Svakt, oh, actually just able to get a solo kill there. Straight diving into the back. Needs to be a little bit careful though. He's got the Gilly Crown on top of him. He does get stunned up. Couldn't quite get the dodge off. The split up the split up as well as the side stop. There's so much damage to that. He gets the BKB off and just able to get the remnant off the side, but it's not far enough. He still gets caught out. And now Fred, he might just end up dropping down as well. The Bramble Mace on top of the splitter. Too much damage for the Witch Doctor. And everyone else on the side of Quest just completely bailed out of this area. It's a little bit of overconfidence there, I think, from Raptis. Not Raptis, sorry. Svakt. Just went well too deep. There's still like quite a huge net worth lead between the two position ones. It's about 2,500 gold in the advantage of Acid right now. And you already got that Heart of Tarask, so finding the kill onto this Naga Siren is going to be very, very difficult to do. You're going to need your whole team focusing onto him, the Black Hole on top. That's pretty damn difficult, seems how everyone else on the side of Quest have got pretty good utilities to just keep throwing so many disruptions into this fight. Like the Fissures, the Astral Imprisonments, as well as the Cast Bounces, going to make that very difficult to stop. Oh, actually, Truebase's dropped the Exorcism down in the spot lane, trying to push the tier 2, but it's just going to get stunned up in place with the Fissures, as well as the Meal Ham on top. Tons of damage. Pretty knockable. Pops his BKB, can try and charge forwards with the tower. It's just hitting him too much. Trebo, he just ends up dropping down. Rowan jumps in with the Blink Dagger with the Echo Slam on top, and it brings down what is real. He's gone, he's dead. It's just Raptors left all alone. He's able to run it off with the BKB activated. It's about to run out though. Oh, a little bit early there with the chains. Oh, and there's Fisher as well, blocked off Svakt, who couldn't quite get back in there to get the grab onto Raptis. But another slight grab once again, spotting him out. And Fred with the cheeky coconut, finishing him off. Where's Zake? He's off doing his own thing. He's just pushing into tier 2, forcing Turkeys and Dreddy away. Just too damn scared of this Outworld Destroyer. Because he ain't devouring no more, he's just killing peeps. And Acid was actually able just to take the tier 2 top all on his own. And that was just all 3 calls from Mike Oxlong that just got picked off. And there wasn't even huge much committed there from Quest either, to be honest with you. So chip it down with this tier 2 in the mid. I don't think there's going to be any sort of response from Mike Oxlong to save this tower. So now this game's starting to look a little bit scary for him. They're going to have to start trying to find some pickoffs and start taking some actual objectives off this map. Because it's still like nearly 28 minutes in and they've only taken 2 tier 1s down. Which I'm sure is a little bit less than what they were expecting. What is real just walking into this area? I mean, they've still got plenty of vision. So they know exactly where every member of Quest is right now. Well, most of them anyway. Because these wards just haven't been dewarded at all. So what is Zero just feeling pretty damn safe to play around with the information that he's got. Just those likewise as well, Quest, they got pretty lot of information. Actually, their wards is getting dewarded, so they're not quite going to know the position of a lot of members of Mike Oxlong now. I think the ward up here actually just timed out as well. I don't think anyone killed it, did they? Sentry ward kills. Trebo just circling this area. I think maybe he realised that's where a lot of them are going to be contesting. I think he spots that Observer ward, gets dropped as well. So Trebo, he immediately bails. If you see an Observer ward, it generally means something bad's going to happen. Zeke getting caught out there by the Bramble Mace, as well as the long range Fisher. And slight, but it's not going to be enough. The spins edge can cancel it off, and everyone's jumping forward. BKB's popped by absolutely everyone. Fred taking tons of damage from the AoE from Trebo, as well as Raptors. They burn him down, as well as Roran. Oh, he's able to get Spy Legs down to low ground, but it's not enough. He still gets dropped down. Switch that there from what is real, doing quite a lot of damage onto Zeke, as well as that long range lightning slowing down the escape of Zeke. There's no chance for him to get out of there. Easy 3 kills, triple kill for Trebo as well. Taking down those 3 members. And he's not done yet. He's actually just running straight onto Svakt towards the top lane, silenced him up. Forced him all the way back to the dire base. But he always had the remnant available, just zips out of there pretty quick. So they take a favourable fight for the first time in quite a while, but it was all on their side of the map, so they don't quite have the time to get any easy objective off this. Like, what is real is trying to run down this mid, but the creep wave's so far behind, by the time it gets to the tower, everyone on the side of Quest is going to be alive. He needs to have to be really careful when that happens. And rightly so, just starts bailing out. But Butterfly actually online now for Acid. So this man is a real damn problem to deal with. Double damage spawn and row spawns. The perfect opportunity just to take down that objective. And Fred will actually scout it out. I think... Okay, so Vac's actually going to take it and ball it up. I suppose he does hit a decent amount himself, but... I suppose as well if you've got the double damage on the Naga Siren, then everyone can see which one the real Naga is. It's just the one that's glowing blue. But it looks like this second roast take should be pretty damn quick. I'm not quite sure if Mike Oxlong had the information, the fact that this is going on, and they're not... Doesn't look like they're setting up for any sort of response whatsoever. So this will just be a free objective. It's the illusion as well from Acid, just delaying all of the creep wave. Just making sure there's not much space for Mike Oxlong's work. With the jump forward there for Ruram, the Echo Slam immediately on towards Real. Doesn't have much else follow-up damage. The Swift Slap as well. Just poking onto a lot of them. And he's able just to spin and disengage. Oh, Hypo Turkeys, I think you may have overstayed his welcome. The jump forward from Svag actually lands on the Bramble Maze. So that actually keeps Turkeys alive. But Svag's not done yet. He's still charging forwards onto what is real. Trying to pressure out this Juggernaut. A nice Bramble Maze placement as well, making it pretty awkward to jump forwards. But Roran, he jumps forward actually. He gets the kill onto the Healing Wall, but it costs him his life though. He gets caught out for it. And now, oh, Svag silenced up as well from Treebo. Commits the Exorcism. Gonna be quite a lot of damage. What is real? Looking for a target to maybe go for the Omni Slash. He's going to go on to Zake. With the Beekeeping activated, a little Beekeeping actually imprisoned himself, so he ends up dropping down. And now they're just looking for more non-stop. Fred's going to be the next target. He manages to glimmer up. And is he going to be able to get away with this? Actually, I think he just got spotted there from What Is Real. He's going to try and TP into the trees. And What Is Real? He doesn't read it! Fred, he manages to sneak out of there. Lovely footwork there from the Witch Doctor, keeping himself alive. Oh, the Svak though, he gets caught out with Yule Scepter. Black Hole from Dreddy. He's just going to chuck it down and make sure there is no escape for this Ember Spirit Bill. Obviously, that is just the Aegis to see if they've got enough follow-up to try and get the grab onto him. But he will just immediately pop that BKB. Raptors actually getting pretty low. Instead, he just goes for the straight TP out, as well as the Song of the Siren from Acid, just so he can bail out himself. But again, it felt like it was a pretty decent fight. But before they can even take any advantages, every single person on Quest is alive again. And now they've got no Exorcism for a minute, they've got no Black Hole for 2 minutes. Omni Slash is on cooldown. So they don't have a huge amount to work with right now. They're going to have to be a little bit careful. And the follow-up stuns as well. Oh, the hammer gets dropped by Zake, but it doesn't matter. Spin was there from What Is Real, able to avoid all of that damage. He actually go for a Slit Slash there onto the creep wave, just make a little bit of distance. Not quite far enough though. So still going to be able to get on top of him. The jumps from around as well as the Fisher. He's dealing a nice amount of damage, but nice terrorize though. Pushing everyone back. Oh, Acid! He's still doing a lot of damage, and there's another Astral Imprisonment. We'll see if they're able to get this kill. It shouldn't take too much. And actually, the exit of the prison is enough to finish them off. So What Is Real ends up dropping down. Already got caught out as well. They both have buyback. And they might be forced to use them here, otherwise it looks like Quest might just be able to take a free set of barracks. And actually, there is a glyph available. So it might not get pressured too badly. The glyph is now used, but I mean, there's already a fresh wave coming in, so this glyph isn't going to be able to delay this out too much. And it looks like they can try to go for the grab of the tree, both force out BKB, another Exorcism pop, with nice use of the spider legs from Roran, able to bail out. Oh, but it doesn't matter, the tower hit was enough to finish her off. Now What Is Real, trying to get the grab with the Fred, but there is the disengage there with the Song of the Siren. And he goes for a sneaky little TP out of there. So it's just the Earthshaker that ends up dropping down. The tier 3 tower was kept alive though. And I think that was actually Daedalus now online for Savak. So this man's going to be hitting for a hell of a lot of damage. -9 damage each hit, as well as the chance of doing a ridiculous amount of crit damage. That's going to be scary to do. Oh, actually down bottom, Raptis. Everyone inside the Quest is on the hunt for him. Open Turkeys is here to try and lend a little bit of space. Everyone just jukes around the Bramble Maze though. Ooh, nice and snare grab there from Raptis, long range. I don't think they quite have any other follow-up though to try and close the gaps. Back, trying to make a rotation around the side. Oh, nice slight fists as well as the chains. The dot damage. Oh, it's so enough. 20 HP survives by up on the high ground as well. So Acid doesn't even know he could just walked up to that high ground and got the finishing hit. Going to try and do as much damage to What Is Real as he can. But I don't think these two can really do that much of each other. What's just going to try and spin and get the hell out of there. The net. Now he's going to commit the full Omni Slash as well as the Terrorize on top, pushing everyone back with this damage. There's not really moving much of their HP bars. What's stunned up again. He's got the Maledict and Death Ward. Doesn't do that much damage though. He's able to evade quite a lot of it, but Svact was able to get the grab onto Turkeys, at least in the backlines. So quite a lot of more big abilities used. It's just the support that end up dropping down. But there is no wave pushed in for the side of Quest right now, so they're not going to be able to take any objective off of this. And it feels like maybe the next big swing is going to be the third Roshan. Still another 3.5 minutes before it potentially spawns. So Savak's actually going for the Octarine Core as his next item. Doesn't actually have a Remnant set up. I think maybe if What Is Real just went for like a... Oh, I was going to say, if he went for like an Omni Slash play, but obviously he doesn't have the Omni Slash. Actually, a MKB as well queued up for What Is Real as his next item. Wants some way of being able to actually do damage to this Naga Sirens, this Butterfly. Because all these mischances are just so goddamn annoying. And there's definitely going to be the answer to that. I mean, you could have gone for the more baller play, go for a cheeky Divine Rapier, giving you that true strike. You haven't got to worry about no 75% malarkey. Guaranteed every time. So Raptor's still got the Bloodstone queued up as his next item. Not a million miles off being able to finish it up. It's only about 1,000 odd gold away. Obviously, he won't have any buyback after that though. So we'll see if he's going to prioritise holding up for a buyback, or if he's going to buy out for it as soon as he has the money. Oh, well, spells dropped. I just completely missed that, but Dreddy, he got picked off. I think he was trying to go for like a D-ward up onto the high ground perhaps. Ends up just getting caught out. He does have a buyback available as well as Black Hole. I love the Aghanim Shard as well from the Leshrac. It's so crazy. It's really nice at providing some sort of D-push. Just constant split-ups going on. Oh, the jump force of Roran just to finish off the tower. And no one actually capitalised on that very aggressive jump forward, so he's able to back out of there. Now Treebo trying to get the grab onto Fred, but there's the Song of the Siren just to make a little bit of space. So no one gets caught out, but it's just still the tier 3 tower that end up dropping down. And it doesn't seem like either team really wants to commit fully onto try and go for any sort of engagement. I think the next real big play will just be for that Roshan, as I was saying. And we'll see if it's going to be a Refresher Shard or an Aghanims. The smoke up coming up from my Oxlong. They even commit the Exorcism. We can try and focus on Rowan to begin with. Able to walk over his own Fisher for now. But also the other two on the left side got caught out by the Slight Fist, holding him back for now. They can try and engage in there. Rowan's getting pretty damn low. He's cut off for the rest of his team. It looks like he will probably drop down for this pretty damn quickly. And he does end up dropping. Gone for 50 seconds, no buyback. What's got very low there for that cheeky hit from the high ground. But even still, I think if no one else dies, Quest might be happy with this. The fact that this Exorcism was used. There is still Black Hole left online though for Dreddy. They just don't quite have the opportunity to use it. So once again, it's just the support to die. And a fair amount of resources used. I think a lot of these BKBs are 6 seconds for Raptis, 6 seconds for Treebo. Zeke, his is on 7 seconds. 8 seconds actually on Savact as well. So Quest is doing a little bit better for their BKB usages. I think they just got them slightly later than what Mike Oxlong did, and obviously the later that you can build a BKB, the better it actually is. Obviously sometimes you are forced to get a pretty early one, but the longer you can wait, it just makes the IM that much more potent in the later parts of the game. Remember the days where you could just sell your BKB and buy a brand new one with fresh 10 seconds? Those were the days, eh? It's kind of bullshit. But, hey. if you get to that point of the game where you don't have anything else to buy but sell one of your items, redo it. Oh my god! Turkeys! He just got gobbled. Smack just annihilated him. Just one easy crit to her face. She just disappeared. That's disgusting. I suppose -9 armor for every hit, and she's only got 6. So he's taking bonus damage, as well as the fact that that was a 12.5 damage, 100 damage crit. Pretty damn disgusting. Tribber just poking onto Smack, but obviously not enough to actually go for any kill. Oh, actually the jump forward there from Dreddy. Going to commit the black hole. Going to try and get this easy grab on Smack, as well as the swift flash. They actually managed to pick him off. Gone for 100 seconds, no buyback. Little tip there. Just give a little bit of extra confidence there for his fellow teammate from Trebo. Well done, buddy. That's the sort of stuff we need. Oh, Roshan. That's a very, very quick one. And he's actually going to be up now. He gets spotted out by the courier of Roram. And immediately, everyone else on the side of Mike Oxlong is going to move into this pit, commit the exorcism to try and get as fast as they can. It is actually a refresher shard as well. So they sort of got their pick about who they want to give this over to. They're going to give it over to Trebo and go for double exorcism, or going to give it to Dreddy, go for a double black hole perhaps. We'll have to wait and see. Raptors actually got picked off down bot, but I think they're happy with that. You know, that was perfect, a little bit of bait, just to lure the rest of Quest into full sense of security, and they managed to snatch the Roche from under their nose. So Cheese over towards Trebo, Aegis into the hands of What Is Real, and it looks like they've given Dreddy the refresher shard. I feel like maybe they should give Trebo the refresher shard. I mean, the black holes, every single time the black holes come out, it's normally been to sort of turn the situation around or just try and grab an extra kill. They've never quite needed 2 in a team fight or anything like that. But the exorcism is a real part of the delays for Mike Oxlong being able to retake a lot of fights. It's just a massive cooldown on exorcism. 145 seconds. Ridiculous amount of time. Trying to build his own his Octarine core as well. He's not a million miles off finishing it. So it looks like Quest went for a smoke play to try and find something, but there's no members of Mike Oxlong in this area whatsoever. So maybe they might transform this into a tier 3 push. Tier 3 is pretty low. Raptors is ready and waiting to try and counter this push if he can. But if he gets jumped on by all 5, there's not going to be any sort of response to keep him safe for quite a while. Roran? Well, he's trying to get the cheeky grab there with the Fisher, but Raptors to step back just in time to avoid the cut-off. Camera going very slowly. Savak just poking onto this tier 3 at the top. Just trying to force a few responses out from Mike Oxlong. Oh, actually in the mid. What is real? We got pretty low. Nearly got the kill actually there onto Roram, and it wasn't quite enough to finish. Instead responds with the Fisher as well as a follow-up stun. Jumps forward there with the hit of the Enchant Tome. Not enough to finish him off, and it looks like What is Real's going to die. He does have the Aegis Ocean. The rest of Mike Oxlong going to try and re-engage. There's the Exorcism from Trebo, but Acid, he just pops down the Song of the Siren and just starts walking out of there. He couldn't quite fully retrieve. Well, the rest of Quest actually looks like they're going to try and get involved in the backlines. Well, the rest is still hunting for Acid, but he's just too damn quick. They can't quite get the connection. Trebo, oh, he pops his BKB, he can't even get involved. Actually, Savak, he gets caught up in the backline, so the rest of Mike Oxlong able to finish him off. Now Roran's getting pretty low, can turn around with the Fisher just to try and hold him back for now. Fred, he goes for the Glimmercake TP. There's no actual cancels. The Terrorize got turned off there from Turkey. Didn't want to bother committing for it. So it is just, it was just Savak that ends up dropping down, but he's gone for 80, no buyback. And they have actually now passed the Refresher Shard over towards Trebo. And he's even popped it as well as the Cheese. So they're going to go for an immediate high ground push now with this next Exorcism. Not quite popping it just yet. I imagine he will pop it as soon as this glyphs run out though. It's like they want to try and go for the grab of someone. But Tribo's to charge the slow down forward. Swartzville even managed to nearly get the kill onto Fred, but the jump forward to Roran. He drops out the Echo Slam. Dreddy gets blown up. Swartzville just able to survive to get the jump out there, but Raptors, he gets caught out. Acid was able to burst him down the backline. Swartzville's going to try and limp out of this. There's another Song of the Siren keeping him all locked down here. Oh, they get spawned towards Real. They see him into the sides. Unfortunately, the hammer just gets dropped. It's enough damage to blow him up. Turkey gets quite as well. Raptors even buying back to TV back in here. If he dies here now, this is going to be an absolute disaster for Mike Oxlong. Roran jumping in, getting control of the Tribo. Raptors is taking too much damage. He's gone for another time. He's got super, like 110 seconds, no buyback. It looks like Tribo's going to be sure to join him as well. A little Cyclone, only the mini one, but Tribo's taking a goddamn long time to go down. Are they actually going to finish him off? At last they do. And actually, GG's called there by Tribo. Mike on tap out of this. I mean, I don't know if they needed to. They had 3 buybacks. As well as the fact that the Enigma... Oh, right, okay, yeah, fake calls. I was going to say, that's a really questionable GG call. That's it, Tribo mad, man. Tribo mad. So yeah, I was going to say, that would have been a very strange GG call. Very strange GG. All this friendly bants between these guys. Very friendly. I'm sure it is. But that looks like this mid-set of Barris is going to quickly fall. As Mike Oxlong don't really want to be forced to use their other buybacks. So the mid's going to drop, and it looks like the top's going to be short to follow as well. And still, all 3 cores are gone for another 30 seconds. At least one saving grace for Mike Oxlong is the fact they still got their tier 2 left at this bot lane. So they're not going to get mega this time. But the pressure is definitely on to take this next team fight favourably. A 23k goal behind. And that fight was all with Aegis, Cheese, and Refresher Shard. I think they just got a little bit too overcommitted. Just they were diving really far past that tier 3. Rather than just going for like a traditional sort of high ground siege, they were really trying to apply as much pressure as they could. The fact that the Ember was gone for a long time with no buyback. Did he get buyback in the end? Can't quite tell. Or you must have just normally respawned. The rest of the team probably picked him off. Still, it looks like this could be the last push of the game coming out now from Quest. They're going to move up to the high ground of the tier 3 at this bot. We'll see if Mike Oxlong's going to be able to hold them off. We will for the first wave. The Quest is going to carry on just keeping their heroes in this area. Just poking and prodding. Wow, evade, evade, evade. That's a lucky ass illusion, man. Push forward though, catch on to Tribo. Tribo's a pretty difficult kill to go for though. Shivas plus BKB. And he also used defense. Oh, Acid actually goes for the aggressive jump there onto what is real, but he able to get the spin off, so not going to be too much follow-up damage. Ooh, nice dodge there with the Swift Slash. Dodge out the hammer, but it doesn't matter. Roran just jumps in there. The Echo Slam does actually get the finish onto what is real. Managed to pick him off. What is real? He might be able to escape out of this, but there's some of the Siren cut off his retreat. Cancelled though, because he wanted to go for the kill on to wrap this. That's going to allow what is real to actually no. Savat got caught. It's going to force the buyback as well as the buyback from Roran as well. So, it's all back to normal again. Everyone's, it's a standard sort of standoff. The hammer, the Echo Slam was used, Song of Siren was used. The same as Exorcism as well as Omni Slash. At least Mike Oxlong, they still got the Black Hole ready to use. So that's probably going to be the one factor that's going to be stopping Quest from just going high ground and closing out this game right now. But finally, that Bloodstone is finished up from Raptis. Is it going to be too little too late though? That is going to be the question. We'll have to see if he's going to be able to turn the tables in this next fight or not. So maybe it just feels like Quest are going to be waiting for the next Roshan then. Up in 53 seconds, so not the longest respawn time at all. Relatively short actually. And it looks like they are, yeah, they are sending their courier into the pit just to make sure they can see it as soon as it is up. I mean, Acid, he's kidded out. This guy's 6 slide. Doesn't need boots. Doesn't need his hand of Midas anymore. Swift blink as well. So I guess next item is probably going to be that Moon Shard, right? And what else do you get? Maybe you might decide to upgrade out the Manta Silence instead. But I think the Manta's pretty crucial. Able to purge off the silence from Trebo, so he can get his mirror images off. Oh, Roshan spawns, but they moved. Oh no, they moved the car out the pit. Rohan, I think you just got an item. Yeah, you wanted to buy the tome. So unfortunately, they're not going to have the information. Roche is up now. Probably delay out by a short amount of time. They will eventually spot it out. Well, actually, looks like Mycox are trying to go for the aggressive move for a smoke play out there, but their smokes get immediately popped. They don't quite find the entrance onto anything with Trebo. Actually, just getting poked in front right now. Taking quite a bit of damage. Force out BKB as well as Exes of Acid. He just uses the Missile Blade, catches him out, he drops, forces the bite back, but now he doesn't have an Exorcism for 100 seconds. Drops the garbage game as trash. You gotta love it. You gotta love the BM. That's what makes these amateur leagues so damn great, you know. But the information that Roche has spawned is now in the hands of Quest. They move straight into this Roche pit. Aegis, Cheese, Refresher Shard, and Scepter. Maybe they'll give the Scepter over to Roran. Maybe Acid. Raptis actually just got picked off solo there by Savact. I'm not quite sure. I didn't get to see that. I'm sure there's a few lucky crits with the Daedalus that brought him down pretty damn quick. Acid doesn't really care about anything. Leaves it all there. Savact actually ends up taking the axe, as well as the Aegis, and Roran actually takes the cheese. So is the axe for? It's just the increased remnant range. I thought it was just a standard part of the build that I am. Maybe he's just waiting on hope for it. Try and get the free one. Oh, actually, just going for a jump forward straight away. Tried to get the grab there onto the Dark Widow, but the Dark rolls off in time. Follow-up stunts, hold him in place. Easy couple of crits there with the Sleight of Fist. Brings him down. What is real? Tries to go for a cheeky little Swift Slash. But an easy just escape there from Savact. Not pressured whatsoever. But no Raptors for another 38 seconds. Could be the potential for a Quest to push into this tier 3 at the bot lane. This is just an illusion for now that's pushing him. And doesn't think there's going to be much of a response coming from Mike Oxlong to try and push away from these tier 3s. They sort of need the help of Raptis. They need every single bit of utility they can get. Oh my god, again! That one-hit crit from Savat just melts down Turkey. The jump ball from Ruan tried to get the kill on towards Ruan. They did actually manage to finish him off. Black Hole was there, but it was just not enough there from Dreddy. Raptis also TPing into the middle of everyone. He's going to try a 1v5, but does he have it in him? I don't think he does. GG's already called. And he's dead. He's gone. Triple kill for Savat. No prank this time. But GG's there. Well played there to Quest for Harb's daughter, taking game number 1. It was a pretty back and forth series, to be honest. It was very even for a fair amount of time. But just eventually, Quest just came out on top, able to get the few pickoffs. And maybe just a little bit of overconfidence in that mid push from Mike Oxlong, which really sort of threw away the lead they were building up. They just went too aggressive past the tier 3 tower. Ended up losing the Aegis, losing the with the Refresher Shard as well. And also the dieback that came out from Raptis. A little bit unfortunate there. But even still, it was a pretty close game for a large majority of it. So well played to both of those two teams.